Books mirrors that reflect your life. Reading Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. Do you think of the word book and imagine thick, difficult text? Or do you feel it's somehow boring and irrelevant to you? In our busy daily lives, we often believe we don't have time to read books. But books are not just tools for accumulating knowledge or cultivating culture. They are mirrors that reflect small parts of our lives and sometimes windows that show us the world we haven't yet considered. Today, we would like to introduce a work that especially contains profound insights into humans and life. That is the 19th century English author Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. While you might associate Jane Austen with old-fashioned romantic novels, that is not the case. Her novels transcend time and space, resonating surprisingly with our modern thoughts and emotions. Especially, Mansfield Park is a work that poses significant questions beyond a simple love story: what is true value, and what is moral courage? Through this article, we will explore why we should pay attention to this old novel and how Mansfield Park can deliver meaningful messages to your life. 1. The World of Mansfield Park: The Story of an Ordinary Girl, Fanny Price. The story of Mansfield Park unfolds in the early 19th century, centered around a historic estate in rural England called Mansfield Park. The protagonist is Fanny Price, a girl from a poor family who is sent to live with her wealthy uncle, Mr. Bertram, at Mansfield Park. Though Fanny grows up alongside her aunt's children, Maria, Julia, Tom, and Edmund, she is not truly part of their family. She lives as a dependent in their household, where their kindness is often mixed with disdain and indifference. The residents of Mansfield Park are mostly cold or indifferent toward Fanny. Her aunt is lazy and indifferent, and her cousin, Mrs. Norris, constantly belittles and discriminates against her. Her cousins either ignore her or treat her like a servant. Only her cousin Edmund truly understands and warmly supports her, becoming her only source of comfort and mentorship. In this environment, Fanny grows into a timid, quiet girl, always trying to remain unnoticed and hesitant to express her own opinions. Yet, despite her outward vulnerability, Fanny possesses a deeply strong and upright moral compass. She remains resolute, walking her own path of belief, even in the face of dazzling temptations. When the charismatic Crawford siblings, Henry and Mary, arrive at Mansfield Park, Fanny's life and the lives of those around her are thrown into a whirlwind. The Crawfords charm the young people at Mansfield Park with their wit, eloquence, and refined manners. Henry, a charming but flirtatious man, and Mary, an intelligent and lively woman driven by worldly values, disrupt the estate's harmony, exposing hidden desires and values among its residents. Maria and Julia fall under Henry's spell, while even Edmund is captivated by Mary's wit and beauty, overlooking her worldly outlook. Yet only Fanny perceives the emptiness and moral deficiencies behind the Crawfords' glamour. 2. Temptations and unshakable principles: questions raised by the characters. Mansfield Park is not merely a story of Fanny's growth. It also poses important questions: what is truly valuable, and on what basis should we judge people and the world? Jane Austen uses her delicate yet incisive prose to offer sharp insights into the human tendency to be swayed by superficial allure. A. The hollow attraction behind the Crawford siblings. The Crawfords are socially successful and charismatic. Henry charms women effortlessly with his good looks and cheerful demeanor, while Mary delights those around her with her intelligence and humor. In today's terms, they might be akin to social media influencers or popular celebrities, whose presence makes others feel special just by association. However, their charm is merely skin-deep. Henry enjoys toying with people's emotions without genuine feelings, while Mary prioritizes worldly success and comfort over moral values. For them, love is a game, and marriage is merely a means to social status. They lack empathy for others' suffering and easily abandon principles for personal gain. Their characters challenge us: is something truly good and right just because it looks dazzling and attractive? Are we losing sight of essential values by being deceived by appearances? B. Shaken morality and late realizations: the Bertram family. The Bertram family also falls victim to the Crawfords' charm, leading to disastrous judgments. Maria and Julia succumb to Henry's flattery and ultimately face ruin. Mr. Bertram initially misunderstands Fanny and even insists she marry Henry. Even Edmund, Fanny's sole advocate, is blinded by Mary's charm and overlooks her worldly values for a long time. Their actions reveal how easily we can be captivated by others' appearances or social status. Though raised in a privileged environment, they lose their way due to the absence of proper moral education and genuine love. Yet, the novel also shows the possibility of reflection and growth. Mr. Bertram eventually recognizes his flawed parenting and mistakes, acknowledging Fanny's true worth. Edmund, too, realizes Mary's true nature and finally sees Fanny's sincerity. This illustrates the hope that humans can learn and grow through mistakes. See, quiet but steadfast strength Fanny Price. Fanny appears to be the most marginalized and vulnerable character in the novel. She lacks charm, talent, or wealth, but she possesses an unshakable inner strength. Despite persistent pressure from Henry and the surrounding social expectations, she firmly holds on to her beliefs. Her refusal to marry is not out of dislike but a demonstration of moral courage, rejecting a loveless marriage and a life without principles. Fanny's character makes us reconsider what true strength means. It is not derived from social status, appearance, or wealth, but from the persistence to uphold one's conscience and principles. She quietly observes, thinks deeply, and empathizes with others' pain. Her patience and moral courage eventually make her the true heir of Mansfield Park. Fanny teaches us, believe in yourself and maintain an upright heart more than others' opinions. 3. Lessons from Mansfield Park for today. Let's now explore the messages this old novel holds for us living in the 21st century. Although the novel's historical context is different, human nature and societal essence remain largely unchanged. Cultivate the eye to see beyond appearances. We live in an era where what is shown matters. Social media constantly displays dazzling lives and perfect images, and people often judge others by their outward appearances, qualifications, or wealth. The residents of Mansfield Park, who fell for the Crawfords' charm, mirror our modern society's tendency to be easily captivated by superficial success and flashy packaging. However, Mansfield Park reminds us time and again that true value lies not in appearances but in the heart. When meeting someone, it's more important to assess their values, how they treat others, and their inner qualities rather than their eloquence, fashion, or wealth. This novel helps us develop the discernment to see beyond the surface and recognize the essence of people. B. It's okay to be stubborn, have the courage to uphold your principles. Fanny Price was criticized for being stubborn. Refusing to marry a man without love in a society that imposed social and familial pressures was hard to understand at the time. Yet, she never compromised her conscience and principles. In the end, these very principles protected and led her to happiness. In our society, we often feel pressured to conform to majority opinions or trends, doubting ourselves with fears of being too stubborn or out of touch. However, Mansfield Park tells us that a firm commitment to your own values and principles can be your greatest strength. The courage to follow your moral compass, even amid others' criticisms and temptations, is the true wisdom of life. C. Explore the truth behind relationships. The Bertram family appears wealthy and refined on the surface, but their internal relationships are hollow and fragile. Parents provide material wealth to their children rather than genuine love and moral guidance, while the children pursue selfish desires and face failure. In contrast, Fanny and Edmund's relationship evolves from a friendship and mentorship into a deep love rooted in mutual understanding and respect. This teaches us that in relationships with family, friends, and lovers, true understanding, respect, and patience matter far more than superficial allure or immediate satisfaction. Real connections are built over time through mutual support and trust, growing stronger through challenges. D. Reading enriches your life. Reading Mansfield Park might feel like being thrown into the unfamiliar world of Mansfield Park, much like Fanny's experience. At first, it may seem difficult and foreign. But as you turn each page, you'll meet new characters, glimpse their lives, and share their joys and struggles. In this process, you'll gain new perspectives to understand yourself and the world. Books are not just tools for conveying information. They allow us to indirectly experience lives we haven't lived, understand complex human nature, and reflect deeply on right and wrong. Through reading, we can strengthen our inner selves and become wiser people not swayed by appearances. Mansfield Park can be a great starting point for this journey. Conclusion: awaken the Fanny Price within you. Jane Austen's Mansfield Park is not merely a classic novel. It is a living story that still offers relevant messages to our time. The courage to resist superficial attractions, uphold one's principles, and seek true value is not just Fanny Price's story. It is our story too, and questions we must continually reflect on to live better lives. If you haven't yet discovered the joy of reading or feel that gaining knowledge and cultivation is too difficult and distant, why not take a leap and open Mansfield Park? This book does not impose hard lessons on you. Instead, it invites you into the small world of Mansfield Park, where you'll witness intriguing events and characters' lives, helping you gain your own insights. You might discover that you, too, possess quiet but steadfast inner strength like Fanny Price. Books are the most powerful tools to awaken the latent wisdom and courage within you. May this article be a small stepping stone for you to embark on the great journey of reading.